Okay, due to time constraints, I had to split that last video into two segments, and it took a lot longer than I thought. So you'll notice that I've kind of skipped over 16.3, and I'm only going to do half of 16.4. It is way past my bedtime, and I'm afraid I'm going to turn into a pumpkin. So, moving right along, the reason I wanted to hit 16.4 is because there's a lot of multiple codes, and so having those here, maybe it'll kind of help deal with those. So let's just plow through them, and we'll see what we can do. Okay, so first one is acute ruptured appendicitis with postoperative paralytic ileus. Immediately I know I've got at least two codes. So I'm just going to start on the left. Typically when you list out multiple codes, the order that they go in is pretty much the order from left to right in the sentence. So with or due to or the word and can indicate another code. Not always, which is why you need to check in both the alpha and the tabular index. So appendicitis is my first. I think probably acute will end up being my second. I kind of have a gut feeling that's going to take me to ruptured, and then I'll probably end up going to paralytic or paralysis. It'll probably be under paralysis, paralytic, and then we'll see what we get. So appendicitis, anomaly, atresia, aqueous, apnea, apoplexia. Okay, appendicitis. There's some with here, with perforation, peritonitis, or rupture, which is 540.0. That's pretty close. Oh no, this is better. So this is why it's important to read the whole section, because underneath that it says acute, and then it gives a whole bunch of other things with it, and then underneath that it says with perforation. So, well, actually it turns out being the same, but it's 540.0. There's nothing in here about a paralytic ileus, so that is going to have to be a separate code. 540.0 acute appendicitis with generalized peritonitis, which is in kind of the subtext acute appendicitis with rupture, which is exactly what we're looking for. So now we just need to look up the paralytic ileus. Let's see here. Upset, syphilis, reaction, poison ivy, pericarditis, paranoid, paralysis, paralytic. Oh, another big one. And then we're going to go down to ileus. Right off the bat it says see also ileus. I'm just going to put this here for now because there is a code there, 560.1. So actually I'm going to go over to ileus. Now this kind of surprises me because typically anatomy is not an entry. Okay, so ileus, bowel, colon, okay, that's 560.1, that's what we've got. Due to gallstone, duodenal chronic, following gastrointestinal surgery. That would be our post-operative. That is really good to know. Now the question is, what order do they go into? Well, put them in the same order that they're listed from the physician. Okay? So see how this works. 540.0 is my acute ruptured appendicitis with, this is my post-operative ileus, and this is my paralytic ileus. So these two combined make up this last section. So let me make sure. Let me look up in the tabular index here. 997, 997.4, 0.39, one shush. Okay, digestive system complications. complications of an intestinal stenosis, bypass, hepatic failure, intestinal obstruction, a whole bunch of other stuff. Excludes gastrostomy, complications not here. And our paralytic ileum is also not in here. So that's just digestive system complications. And then 560. 578, 558, passed it. 560.1, paralytic ileus. Yep, there's no mention. So those three would actually go together. That's kind of interesting. Usually they have a post-operative, but they don't have one for post-operative and then paralytic. Now notice the order that I've got this in here. Again, acute ruptured appendicitis, post-operative, paralytic ileus. I'm just going left to right, so that way the codes line up just with what it is. Answer key. Let me see what they have. 540.0 is the primary, 997.4, 560.1. Cool beans. Alright, next one. Okay, this one could actually be another tertiary type of code, because I've got acute hepatitis and, that's a keyword for codes, early cirrhosis of the liver. Due to is another keyword that indicates that it's got combination codes or multiple codes. So think of the and as your plus sign, and then the due to as your plus sign as well. You're kind of translating from text to codes. So anyway, so hepatitis is going to be for sure my first word. I'm going to take these in sections. Cirrhosis will be the first word in the second code, and alcoholism will be the one in the third. Acute will be my second word. Early cirrhosis of the liver, probably early, my second code, and then chronic alcoholism. So let's see what we get. So look up hepatitis first. Again, I'm just going left to right because I know I'm probably going to end up with two codes. There may be some combination codes, and I'll change that if we run into them. So I'm in the eyes. I'm going to back up a little bit to hernia, hemothorax, hepatitis, acute. There's alcoholic. There's no with section here. Viral hepatitis. Okay, so I've got. So alcoholic hepatitis is not the same thing as something as due to hepatitis, but it's still, that's the type of hepatitis it is. So this covers the acute hepatitis, but it doesn't actually cover the due to chronic alcoholism. That's actually a separate condition. So I like this acute alcoholic hepatitis, 571.1. I'm going to stick my finger in here and check this real quick. 571.1. Acute alcoholic hepatitis. No surprise there. Nothing about cirrhosis in the hepatitis thing. Now there is a due to in the hepatitis. There's nothing, absolutely nothing though about chronic alcoholism. Alright, so I'm going to go on to the second code because I think I pretty much beat the hepatitis to death. So now I'm looking under cirrhosis, closure, cicatrix in circulation, cirrhosis. There is actually a with alcoholism, but it doesn't say chronic. Alcoholic cirrhosis of the liver. I'm looking for something, anything that might say early. There's another due to bronze, diabetes, congestive hepatomegaly, cystic fibrosis, passive congestion, Wilson's disease. So there's nothing in there that says it's due to chronic alcoholism. But there is this alcoholic liver cirrhosis. So there's nothing there to indicate that it's early. So I think 571.2 is going to be my best code. Let me just check that in tabular. 571.2 alcoholic cirrhosis of the liver. Again, that's what kind of cirrhosis it is. We still haven't figured out what the chronic alcoholism is. That is a separate issue. I'm kind of looking around to see if there's anything about that early cirrhosis. Yeah, it's not anywhere. I don't see it anywhere. So I'm assuming that that's not something that we can code. And then we've got chronic alcoholism left. Anomaly, aneurysm, adoption, alcoholic. Or actually alcoholism. Specified, unspecified, continuous. I'm looking at the 5th digit. So alcoholism is 303.9, with psychosis, which is not mentioned, acute, which is not, chronic alcoholism with psychosis. We don't have psychosis. So we've got chronic alcoholism, which is 303.9, 303.9x, x being, well, it doesn't really say what it is, so I'm actually going to look it up just to make sure I get it. That 5th digit right. 310, 303.9. That's interesting. Alcoholic dependence syndrome. Use additional code to identify any associated condition as alcoholic psychoses, drug dependence, physical complications such as cerebral degeneration, cirrhosis of liver. Mentions our 571.2 code. Hepatitis, it mentions our 571.1 code. So we are supposed to use these additional codes in addition to the chronic alcoholism. So 303.9, this 5th digit, unspecified, continuous, episodic, or in remission. It's really unspecified. It doesn't let us know any of those. So I'm going to go with 0. I guess when we check the answer, we'll find out if I'm right. Again, notice this left to right thing. I've got, sorry, I started using my finger and you guys can't see that. I've got acute hepatitis, cirrhosis of the liver, due to chronic alcoholism. See, these pluses are my due to and my and. Let me know if that doesn't make sense. I'll try to clear it up. So let me check the answer key before I say that's exactly what we're going to do. 571.1, 571.2, and 303.90. Awesome.